At this point, even though I'm like getting hit, it just doesn't matter. The fight's over. Alright, and the reason we go this way is to get the Bastille key, because it is helpful. Definitely not necessary, but it's kinda helpful for killing Sinner. Which means we have to do this part. Now this part, I'm probably gonna die at, just because I'm not really wearing very much armor. And there's like 5 or 6 dogs, and then a guy that gets yeah, jeez, already down there. No. That corpse has the key. It's if you wanted to, you could definitely just run down, grab the key, and you'd probably be able to get back up the ladder without having to kill everything, but that's just not my style. I want to kill everything. I think I'm going to try to go through the majority of this human, but if pretty much the only time I'm not going to be human is, I mean, obviously if I die, but if I think it's possible for me to die going through the same area again, then I might not go human. I might just stay hollow and just do it again. I don't know why, for some reason some invaders AI for the NPCs is just very good, and for other ones they're just not good at all. And Vorgil the Sinner is a good example of an AI that is just very bad. What do I want to do? I think I'm gonna go get the bonfire for Macduff. Macduff is where you use the you know, all the stones that you keep getting, the raw stones, poison stones, all of that stuff. He's the guy that will let you infuse your weapons with those, and your shield. You might be wondering why I'm going this way. There's an invisible wall that'll put you pretty much right above him, and there's a shield that I want to get over there too. I'm not going to be using that shield, but I figure, I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if people just didn't know that it was even there. I mean, I know, obviously, people know that it's there, but not everyone. Okay. That item that you saw in there is, I don't know what it is, but I can almost guarantee that it's useless. Just based on how annoying it is to get. Like I said earlier, the more annoying it is to get to the item, the more likely that item is just trash. Okay. Try to make sure I don't fall off here. Now you can see the item over there. Very easy to miss this. Which is a shame, because it's actually a pretty good shield. It's pretty cool. God, that barrel didn't blow up the wall. I forget what's over here. I'm gonna go get it. Okay. And for anyone who wasn't sure how to get the item, the chest that Macduff is standing on, if you light this torch and then just rest at the bonfire, he'll move over to that side, which means you can go ahead and loot the chest. It has the Craftsman hammer, and I think there's a Twinkling Titanite too. Yep, there he is. Now we can get it all. One thing I hate about this bonfire is those dogs. It's practically guaranteed that at least one of them will aggro, no matter what. And it's just so annoying. Since I don't have the Ember currently, there's not really much of a point in me talking to Macduff right now. Could just blabber on about how he wants a flame. But once we get that, we'll be going back. There we go. Alright, on to the Sinner. And here we go again with the jumping stuff. I don't know. It's just gotta be because I'm recording. It's never done that before for me, so that's gotta be the reason. Now that summon sign is Lucatiel, and we're gonna go ahead and summon her for the Sinner fight, but before that, I'm not gonna use her. I wanna get all of these guys out of this area first, and then I'll go ahead and summon her. Because I do not want her to go into the fight with lacking health, and I don't want her to accidentally fall off the bridge, because she's done it far too many times for me to just ignore that that is a possibility. So you can backstab these guys. That is by far the best way to deal with them. Their tail attack, which he was about to do, is the most damaging attack that they have. And it's difficult to dodge too. I've never actually gotten the Bellkeeper shield, so that's kind of cool. These guys have real interesting drops. The ones here and the one... There's another one later on in the game that also has cool drops. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to, I don't know, look up their loot table and just see what they got. I'm sure for just about anyone, you've got to have something interesting. Even just to have for aesthetic purposes, not even to use. These little cells are annoying. I think everyone has at least one of those guys, and some of them have two. So, you should, if you're going into these, you should really be looking around. Yeah, here's another one just sitting here. And make sure you get them all. Not while one of these guys hitting you with their thing and potentially breaking your weapon. Or any of the gear. I think I forgot to unlock one of the gates. Probably won't be using them, but I don't know, just a pet peeve of mine to unlock everything. And this is something that I didn't even know about until I was struggling to do Sinner on New Game +1. And I was like, there's gotta be a way to... I didn't even look it up. It was actually just... We were trying... It was me and one of my friends, both playing Dark Souls on our Xboxes. We were in the same room. And we were trying to figure out, you know, there's gotta be a way to... We were thinking to just prevent those pyromancers from jumping down during the fight. And I was like, well, I know there's these gate things, and it looks like they've got oil near them, so maybe we can light those. And sure enough, we tried it, and we could light them, which I never knew about. It's another cool thing. It kind of makes him a little more slower, or her a little slower, and it might light up the boss area a little more. I don't know. All I know for sure is that she gets slower, so if you're struggling to dodge her or whatever, you should definitely go kill the gargoyles and get the key and do that. a bad dodge. Alright. As you can see, the mace is doing just incredible damage. And Lucatiel is doing a good job of just taking all the hits. And GG. Just like any other game, once you know what you're doing, these boss fights are no longer an issue. In fact, the NPCs become more of an issue than the bosses themselves. Just the mobs that are running through the level, those are what'll get you. The bosses, not so much. And this is coming from a guy who still dies to bosses.
You have a...
Still no Estus Flask. I don't remember where these even are. And I always forget to burn Sublime Bone Dust when I get it, so... Alright. If you wanted to, you could avoid this area entirely. Right in the middle of Majula, where that big hole is, if you keep falling down, you can get to a lower platform, which will put you pretty much at the end of this area, and at the entrance to the gutter, which is where we're going. However, I spent some time in the Rat Covenant, so I'm pretty familiar with this area. I really don't think I'm gonna struggle. Even if I get summoned into someone's world, I doubt I'm gonna struggle here. Plus it's just it's such an easy area. It really is. Now there used to be a red phantom that would invade you here, but for whatever reason the past few times I've gone through this area, he hasn't showed up, so I don't know what the deal is with that. It was Roy the Explorer. I don't know if they took him out or what. If they did, that's a shame. It was cool to get invaded by him and then later on find that that one bonfire that mentions him. Little things that make this game just so cool. The first time I did this boss fight, I had no idea what was going on. I was trying to like kill the statues of the rats, thinking that those were spawning them or something. I didn't get it. But pretty much what you do is you just obviously try to kill all these guys, and eventually, after you kill a certain amount, you'll see the boss's health bar show up, and he'll always drop right here. And you can recognize him because he'll be the only one with a mark. Oof. Okay, that was a little close. But yeah, once he's down, he's really the only one that matters. These guys can petrify you. That's the thing that's building up. So you do not want to get hit a bunch. And that was close, but you managed to do it. If you're a pyromancer and you're using spells such as Firestorm or anything like that, then you can just blast through this boss fight. It's actually a joke. This is the Rat Covenant guy. You meet up with him here, and he's also in another area. I'm not really gonna bother with him. I believe I got the Rat Covenant all the way upgraded on my Xbox, so nothing new for me to do there. Okay, I know there's a crystal lizard right here, but I always struggle to get it. Now this item is a disc chime. Hopefully I can actually make the jump, but I mean, again, I'm streaming, so no, I'm not gonna make it. Alright. So these guys, when they jump, they explode, doing a ridiculous amount of damage, and they also kill themselves. So I usually won't even bother trying to fight them. I'll just let them jump. And I try to make sure I roll in time so I don't get hurt. And I let them kill themselves. Just makes it a little easier. Damn, missed. Oh well, only one. Okay. This area reminds me of Blighttown from Dark Souls 1 so much. It's pretty similar. It's pretty cool. I hate going through this area, but it is a very cool area. Token of Spite. You need to be carrying one of those before you can get into the Red Covenant, or the Dark Phantom Covenant. It's also the Blood Covenant. We haven't gotten to the point where we've unlocked the guy for it yet, but we will later on. So if you've never gotten here, you're wondering why I'm attacking these statues, and that is because they shoot poison at you if you go in their line of sight. So there aren't very many of them in this part, in the gutter, but we are going to be running through into the Black Gulch, which is the next area, and there's a bunch of them down there. Alright, and the typical way to go through this is right here. That platform will break and you go down here. That's what almost everyone does in this area, so I figured I would show it. Once you know where that is, you can just run past it and avoid this one section right here. So there's 4 guys, you just don't have to kill them, and you can just jump straight to this platform. There's also an alternative way, which I may or may not show. I don't even remember what's over there the other way. Pretty much you can go this way, which I'll say to the left, or you could go right, which is across a bridge, and it'll lead you to a different part. But that's not really the way that leads to the boss, so I'm not really gonna bother. There was a ladder that I showed earlier. That is where a certain item set is that I may or may not show. But yeah, we don't have the key yet to go through that door, so we're just gonna keep going. There's the dog. I always attack that. I always think it's a guy that's sleeping, but it's just actually a dead guy. Here we go. I forget what great shield is over here, but I know there is one. It's in the chest. I'm not going to be using it, but I figure I'll just show people where it is. Trying to knock him off. You don't need to go down here, but I'm gonna just to show it. It's just this room with a couple of these little poison mushroom guys, and there's a giant ant-looking thing, which is pretty creepy, pretty spooky, but it doesn't actually attack. Even if you attack it, so I still don't know what the intention of this thing was. It's just to spook people or what, but it'll drop some, I think, poison moss, so you get a decent amount of poison moss, which is nice, sort of prepare you for the next area. Yeah, there's just... yeah, it's not an illusion. I don't know what the deal is with that. Alright. So let's continue to go through the gutter. There's a second bonfire over here, which is very easy to miss because it's behind that. Very helpful, so you don't have to run through the entire level over again. You can just start here and go down the ladders and get into the next zone. Now some of these ladders are, I'm gonna get this argument. Some of these ladders are, I guess, false ladders, or I'll say they're broken ladders. So they'll go down like halfway or something, and then they stop. So if you're not paying attention, you're just going down the ladder, you'll fall, and in some cases you'll fall to your death. So not all of these ladders do that. There are some items that I'm not going to bother getting up there, just because I don't feel like doing the ladder roulette game, trying to figure out which ladder goes to the item. And I mean, I'm just not going to use the items that are up there. I think one of these things leads to a great hammer or a great mace or something like that, or a great club. What's it called? Great club? I don't know. I think there's a club, and beyond that, I don't know what it is. These urns have liquid inside that will break your gear. Well, maybe not break, depending on how much how broken it already is. But yeah, it'll do equipment damage, so I'll put the drain leg stuff on, start looking fancy. I guess I'll do that for now. It's decent. So yeah, either throw a weapon on that you're not going to use and break them with that weapon, preferably like a halberd or something, or take your gear off and roll through it, or, you know, whatever, cast spells. I know you can roll through it without breaking your gear. It's just, it all depends on how damaged everything is already, so it's just not a risk that I'm going to take. Okay, I'm all set to do this area. I'm gonna try to get every item in this area. I may not do it. There is like a sort of secret section to this area that I'm not gonna do right now, but I will come back and do it. But I'll do that later on in the game when I'm a little bit stronger. Okay. Now you go through here to talk to Lucatiel. A lot of people miss that, because I mean, who the hell looks down there? But exhaust her dialogue to continue her storyline, and you get her for a summon for the boss, which is nice. Now these black pits on the ground, those are oil, and they actually contain enemies, which will kind of jump out and try to grab you. The easiest way to deal with them is use fire arrows or anything with fire. Put that in the wrong slot. I usually like to have the bows up there. Alright. And just set them on fire. And if there's an enemy in there, you'll see their health bar go down. Look, there's one. There's another. There's another. I think that's all of them right here. And now you just wait. Yep. Alright. I forget what this chest has. I think it's a great magic weapon. Yep, and a Shotel. No one really uses the Shotel though, I don't know why. Nearly walked into that, but that's okay. Huh. This is an area that I actually wish was bigger. Because there's a bunch of diversity in the enemies right here. You never see these worms or the things hiding in the oil ever again. And I just kind of wish it was more like the demon ruins from Dark Souls 1. Like that area is massive, and it has those bug things, the worms or whatever. I don't know. My one complaint about this game has to just be that it's not very big. Which is, I mean, obviously an arguable point, but I don't know. Compared to Dark Souls 1, especially because you couldn't just fast travel everywhere, I do think that this game is much easier to go through. And because of that, it's slightly less immersive, in my opinion, too. But again, that's just my opinion. There's a summon sign there for a archer guy who you can also use to help with the boss. He's also pretty much worthless. He does like no damage and has no health. But, you know, whatever, we'll get him. See if we can keep him alive. Alright, and with that, we've got just about everything there is to get here, besides for the Forgotten Key, which we'll deal with later. And it's time to do the boss. Nope, jeez. Lucasfilm, come on. Stop doing that. Alright. Yeah, I'll do magic. Definitely one of the cooler looking bosses in the game. He's also pretty simple. Doesn't mean it's impossible to die to him or anything, but he's not really complicated. I feel like they enhanced his armor or something since the game has been released. Because I do remember him being an absolute pushover, but again, I was also using the greatsword, so maybe his defenses are just really good for like blunt weapons, but they're not so good for slashing weapons or something. But yeah, mostly because of the boss area. That's pretty much why I consider him to be pretty easy. I mean, he's hitting me with these attacks, but still, it's just so simple to get away from him. He was doing his version again. Sorry, Schmidt, couldn't keep you alive. Damn. Oh, jeez. Oh god, it's gonna hit me. Oh jeez. Oh. It's really not a good place for him to be in. But, oh. That's actually a grab attack. It'll grab you and starts like crushing you or eating you or something like that. Alright, so that's two of the big four bosses down.
This, yours, I
once I remembered. Alright, let's open this pathway up. This is where we meet Ben Hart, who's a pretty chill guy. He'll help you with at least two boss fights, maybe more, I don't know. But before that, you gotta free this petrified lady and get him through here. So this person is actually the pyromancy trainer of the game. At least, well, pretty much the way this game goes is there's a basic trainer for all of the different spell categories, such as hexes, miracles, sorceries, and pyromancies. So they all have their basic trainer, and then they'll have a pretty much Strayed, who we'll get to. Strayed and Royal Sorcerer and Navlan, who have like more of the specialist spells, the really high level or unique, I guess, spells. But yeah, she'll just hang around here unless you exhaust her dialogue and give her some equipment to move her to Majula. I always just give her any spare equipment I have, anything that I have two of. So yeah, have a helmet. And it looks like that's it. Oh, some legs too. There you go. It's just what she has.
Oh dear.
Okay, whatever. I think that's all the dialogue. Here's an Estus flash shard, and in the other one, there's a bonfire. Normally I would just run past all of these guys, but I figured go I'm not gonna go this way yet, but I just wanted to get this bonfire. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and do Huntsman's. Get the Blood Covenant and open up the way to get to the Iron Cave.